right, welcome back. I'm glad you liked the thumbnail. I liked it myself. When I saw it, I couldn't believe it. It's like a dream come true. Because the dog is not on fire. That's actually powder. It is powder on the dog. It's not on fire. Just so YouTube knows, that's not an image of dog abuse. But I wanted to talk about this, and it's an odd subject. It's kind of odd. So I'm going to mix in some of these recent attacks. So this video will be sort of like a random dog nuttery video, but I want to focus on these stories of people setting dogs on fire. And you all see this is from 2013. 2013 is when this video was uploaded. And there is a pattern of people setting dogs on fire. And I'm worried about these people. Why are they doing this? I don't believe that they just want to see a dog in pain. I just don't believe that. I think typically a person who decides to set a dog on fire, they have a reason. There's a purpose behind it. And I would tend to think that it is because of something that the dog did. I believe a lot of these cases where dogs are found having been set on fire, shot, or beaten were cases where the dog actually attacked someone. And that person, that dog lover, took matters into their own hands. They know that if they report it, turn the dog over, it could live and go on to someone else's household, especially if the dog has no history of violence. The owner might already know this dog's going to get away with attacking my daughter, attacking me. A lot of dog owners know this, and they'll say, nope, I'm going to deal with this dog myself. On top of that, the person wants revenge. The person wants revenge. So it's highly likely that many of these cases involve a dog that attacks someone. Right? Shout out to everybody in the room. Everybody's comments have popped up. I'm sort of lagging. This is a janky stream service. Bear with me. Good to see everybody able to join me up in here. Now let's talk about this. Dog lovers setting their dogs on fire. Now, I'm not giving people advice. This is not a tutorial on how to set a dog ablaze. I'm simply covering or dealing with stories that was put out by the news. And I'm asking, why are they doing this? I'm worried about my fellow human. What's troubling them? What happened to them, if anything? Because we never hear their side of the story. We never hear it. Now, I'm upset. I'm upset in this video on this live stream because there's a lot of goofy nuttery that's going on right now. It's like it's worse than normal or than usual. A lot more intense. It's getting ultra goofy right now. And it needs to be called out. Police search for suspect who set dog on fire. Y'all heard here recently, a dog was set on fire. This right here was uploaded today. So I think this is the story that I'm talking about. Somebody set a dog on fire again. This is nothing new. Dogs are always getting set on fire, on top of other injuries that they sustain. But what else do we know about dogs? Why is it dogs that always show up shot, beaten, set on fire? Typically, the people are not doing this to cats or any other animal. What is that all about? Do you think it has something to do with the fact that dogs actually attack people far more often than any of these other animals? Is it fair to assume that that has something to do with it? Because look, we pamper dogs. We deify dogs. It's the culture to look at them as holy creatures in the United States. So I would think that if people are driven to this behavior, to do something like this, there's a cause. It's not a bunch of Jeffrey Dahmers out here like that. I don't want to hear that. Okay, now wait a minute. I think there's actually a news article or whatever, but the details is not important. A mutt was set on fire. Okay? Why? What happened? And why don't we ever hear from the person who set the dog on fire? It's like a rule to never allow those people to speak. You don't even hear from them. Now, this is what I was talking about. This was over there in Africa. They deliberately set this pit bull on fire after it mauled a 3-year-old boy to death. This is what I was looking for. Now, I have a lot of stories of dogs being set on fire, but this happened recently. This article surfaced 9 hours ago. Think about that now. Had this dog not mauled this 3-year-old, the locals would not have done anything like that. They wouldn't have done anything like that. This is just like stonings in countries like this. When somebody is getting stoned, they've been caught stealing, they've done something very, very criminal and was stoned. You don't have no whole community of Jeffrey Dahmers over there. But they got together and set this pit bull on fire. It killed it tortured a 3-year-old. Tortured a 3-year-old and killed the 3-year-old. They responded with fire. They made that dog suffer as well. The dog had to suffer before it died as well. It's forced karma. And this is the oldest behavior among humans we know of. But we're only driven to this in response to something. So why isn't it fair for me to assume that these people here in America are not responding to something? They want to project this idea that they're just a bunch of Jeffrey Dahmers out here, people who just get off on seeing dogs in pain. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think is telling. Talking about a specific behavior, who thinks to just set a dog on fire for kicks anyways? That's something you do when you are very angry. And you can't think of any other way to punish this thing. After all, it is a killer. So a lot of people will opt to douse it with something and set it on fire. Now, I'm not saying if it's right or wrong, justified or not. All I'm asking is, why did they do that? Why? What's going on there? And why do we never hear from them? Local dog believed to have been intentionally set on fire, recovering. This was October 25th of this year, not long ago. People always setting dogs on fire, man.
Animal Control Commission, or MAC, has a dog they believe was intentionally set on fire.
Her injuries are extensive, making it a long road ahead for the dog. But even with this trauma, shelter staff say she is one sweet pup. Stephanie Rodriguez has the story.
Last Thursday, someone called here to Maddox saying that they believed a dog lying in the middle of the road on the city's north side had been hit by a car. But once animal control arrived, they realized that dog was suffering from severe burns.
Gemma is the patron saint of healing. We thought she needed a good name for that.
Healing.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me back that up. My apologies.
Last Thursday, someone called here to Maddox saying that they believed a dog lying in the middle of the road on the city's north side had been hit by a car. But once animal control arrived, they realized that dog was suffering from severe burns.
Gemma is the patron saint of healing. We thought she needed a good name for that.
Healing.
What now? Let me ask, could this be spontaneous combustion? Hasn't that been proven to be a real thing? Spontaneous, where you just light on fire? I'm just asking. You know, maybe the dog's energy is just wrong. It's just something to think about.
Exactly what 2-year-old Pitbull mix Gemma is doing right now.
And her tail just never stops wagging.
Okay, I have to point out, that means nothing. Dogs wagging their tails, it means nothing. Doesn't mean happy, sad, or mad.
A far cry from how she was when she first got to the shelter.
And while we don't know exactly what happened, the speculation was that someone had poured lighter fluid on her and lit her on fire intentionally.
Gemma was found on the 33.
Okay, now that's not necessarily true. Fires can start from a multitude of ways, of causes. Why do they always assume the worst? That not only somebody sprayed it with lighter fluid and set it on fire, but they did it for kicks. Just to see the dog in pain. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
300 block of North 16th Street. Badly burned, but alive. And she's resilient, enjoying every moment and treat.
That's a good girl. Yes. But I can tell you Friday morning,
Well, I'm sure it is. Enjoying food. What's the big deal about that? Oh my goodness.
Enjoying every moment and treat.
That's a good girl. Yes. But I can tell you Friday morning, she was so happy. All she wants to do is sit in your lap and give you kisses.
This cone keeping Gemma from...
Oh my goodness. Why? There's no reason to say stuff like this. Dogs don't kiss. That's just not a necessary thing, because it's manipulative. It's not a happy dog that's kissing you. It's not kissing you. My goodness, this is so corny at this stage. It's annoying. at this stage, man. Why don't you all get tired of talking like that?
Happy. All
What
she
I'm
wants to do
wondering.
is sit in your lap and give you kisses.
This cone keeping Gemma from scratching and further infecting her wounds. But she will likely lose her left ear.
She'll still be able to hear out of that side. She's not going to have that cute little floppy ear that goes with most dogs.
Despite all the pain and treatment coming her way, Gemma is now in a safe space filled with love.
As hard as it is for us to understand how somebody could do this to an animal, because we don't get it. Our goal is to
See, right? That's what I'm talking about right there. Who knows? We don't know, but you're passing judgment. They're passing judgment. You have no idea what happened. This could have been an accident.
us to understand how somebody could do this to an animal, because we don't get it. Our goal is to make them safe.
Why do you hunt animals? Why do you shoot them for sport? Yeah, I don't get that either. And then complain. I mean, stop it. Stop it. Just, you cannot be a hypocrite and be taken seriously. I'm sorry. You gotta be consistent. I'd get called out for it if I just said dumb things like that. I can't take no more of this. Let's move on to the next story. Now, this took place, again, in October. This is very recent. Y'all remember that black man? They had his mug shot up there. This is not long ago. He set a dog on fire. I talked about it. I said, why didn't we hear from him? And this is the case in every story. Even when they find a person or a suspect, even if they've arrested them, you don't hear from them. You don't hear their side at all. They never say the man did it because the dog attacked him or bit him. You got some cases where people did something to a dog and they said it was because it attacked me or bit me. But these dogs to get set on fire, we never hear from them. Now, this was in Utah. This was July of this year. These are not the same stories. 4-year-old dog set on fire after domestic dispute. Sentenced to prison. He was sentenced to prison. This is a serious crime. You can go to prison. Typically, people are not going to set a dog on fire. They have to be, it has to be temporary insanity. In the context of this world today, regardless, I know some people out there might think it's okay to set dogs on fire. But I'm speaking in the context of this country. That's something that will get you sent to prison. So I believe that when people do stuff like this, if they did it intentionally, most likely it was a case of temporary insanity. Because the person was a dog lover. They own the thing. Me personally, no matter how much I dislike dogs, I'm not going to own one just so I can set it on fire. Just to, get off on setting it on fire. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have one of those things nowhere near me. So these were dog lovers. You can't just call these people evil villains. Had you met them in the real world, you think they were some of the best people on earth. They were fellow dog lovers. So you find a dog on fire or have been burnt up or beaten or shot. It's not fair. It's not logical to just assume that somebody did it for kicks. And that's always what they imply. That's always what they imply. After every story. It makes no sense. I want to know. I want to hear from these people. I want to hear from them. You're not just going to tell me a dog was set on fire and that the person who did it was just an evil person and we don't hear from that person. That's against our law. For me to believe that, that's against how our law works. You hear both sides of the story. That's how it works. They always just give one side. Dog stolen, doused in petrol, and set on fire, dies peacefully. This is in July. So another story. Is this even the same story? So they're saying this thing was doused with petrol. Nobody thinks to, hey, let me get some lighter fluid, petrol, douse it on this dog, and set it on fire. People in their normal state of mind, they just don't do things like that. Most of these are cases of temporary insanity. Temporary insanity. And I'm worried about these people. What are they going through? It should be documented. There may even need to be a book written on what drives people this mad to go from a dog lover to setting a mutt ablaze. Because all I talk about here is how incompatible people are with dogs, and it seems to be proven in dog lovers' relationships with dogs. Not only do they treat them like slaves, even worse in some cases, better in most cases. You got to understand, these people have never been held up to scrutiny. So a lot of the criticisms that they hear, especially from my channel and other channels, really all channels, all of our platforms, we all talk about the same things. It's brand new to a lot of these people. Okay? They've never really even examined themselves, their own behavior, what they're going through, document what they're going through, document what's driving them crazy. I can almost guarantee you the same things drove these people crazy. What was it? I don't know. It could have been an attack, barking, whatever. There are many things about dogs that just naturally drive people crazy. I mean, there's so many examples. There's so much proof and evidence all around. But there's nobody who specializes in researching it. So it's a lot of knowledge out there we just don't have. Here's another one. Now this was February of this year. These are all different cases. All this year. This happens a lot, man. And why is it always bully breeds? You ever wondered that? Y'all notice that the most vicious dog is most often found beaten, shot, or having been set on fire? That's either true or it's not. Pretty much all the dogs we've seen have been bully breeds. All of them. It's just rare to find a lab that's been shot, beaten, or set on fire. Not saying it don't happen. We just looked at one that wasn't a bully breed, but it's usually a bully breed. Okay? And they don't know what happened. That's the thing. How can you just treat something like it's innocent when it could have killed someone or someone's child? You don't know. It's criminal to treat the thing like it's innocent. And then they go on to adopt it out. Don't know nothing about the dog's past. They just conduct some goofy test, temperament test, and adopt it out. Many times these things fail those temperament tests. They adopt them out anyways. No kill, no kill.
When she was 6 months old with her twin sister, we saw them there and brought them home. They were with us for about 6 months. And then we went to the store for about 20 minutes and came back and she was missing. We have one other dog. He's also 13. So
Y'all ever notice? This is so crazy to me. This is so crazy. This intense obsession with bully breeds, it's almost sexual. It's almost sexual energy, this obsession. It's extremely intimate. And it's only with bully breeds. Some people with dogs in general, but I see this so often with bully breeds. Let's just say dogs in general. These people, they only show that kind of obsession, that intense obsession with dogs. The same creatures that are basically exclusively responsible for all the attacks that happen, period. Dogs not only attack people more often than any other animal, they attack other animals far more often than other animals attack other animals. Their main function on this earth is to kill. Kill and eat. Kill and eat. It has a very basic and degenerate mode of operation on this earth and doesn't benefit anything on this planet. It's hard to find something natural. You don't find anything natural for the most part that's detrimental to the environment itself. Everything dogs touch, come into contact with, dies. It becomes infected, disease-ridden. More than anything, these things are just parasitic, disgusting vermin. On top of the hazard, the physical hazard, the attacks. You have to be out of your mind. But this intense obsession, it's offset by these things being exclusively responsible for these horrific mutilations, hundreds of thousands, many thousands every year nonstop. That lets you know this is some type of cultish-like issue. People only act like that when they're under a doctrine, some type of cult-like doctrine. And it's put into them by the culture itself.
it's just a little lab and very friendly.
Okay, you get the point. Another dog was set on fire. Why are these dogs getting set on fire? I don't get it. You're not going to tell me these just bunch of evil, cruel-hearted people. I don't think so. I don't think so. So you tell me. Now there is a lot of crazy things going on right now. I don't know how many of you keep up with the news. Dead sheep. Yeah, they got livestock. These dogs, they are going through mutilating people's livestock. It's like a lawnmower chopping down blades of grass. It makes no sense. Dogs have no natural way of functioning on this earth. They don't even function like predators. Kill for sport. You don't just hunt and kill for sport. You can get hurt hunting. Dead sheep expected to triple. This surfaced a few hours ago. I'm telling y'all, when I go do my homework, I see articles like this all the time. All the time. They say they lost about 100 sheep from a dog attack. 100 sheep. And they're saying that, look at this, there's 7 dead at the moment, and there must be 25 to 30 injured. Just going sheep after sheep after sheep after sheep. Not eating. Y'all know how backwards behavior that is? Other predators grab them a sheep and go eat. They're good. These things, they reveal how dysfunctional they are all the time. And it's like in a bold way. And that's a big reason why I get frustrated. Because they make it so obvious, yet nobody points it out. Whoa, what is this? Dog was skinned shortly before University of Idaho murders. No. See, somebody left a good comment talking about that. They're trying to associate people who harm dogs with being a serial killer. There are a lot of people who smack dogs and never go on. I will say most never go on to be a serial killer. That's far-fetched. And that's really ridiculous. To say that someone is going to hurt a human because they slapped a dog somewhere. This campaign to demonize people, in contrast to dogs, creatures we pamper, the only creatures we pamper the way we do, stop it. Stop it. I'm sure these serial killers do a lot of similar things before they do a killing. I'm sure they do a lot of things that other people do who are not killers. Right? That would be most things. So let's stop with that. This propaganda, man, this anti-human propaganda, their hatred for people is intense. People like that are dangerous. When they carry around this hatred for anything that you are, yeah, you have a problem. This surfaced a few hours ago, I think. Yeah. Some girl, I think she was caught on camera fighting off dogs with a backpack. What is this? Oh, sorry about that. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened there? Okay, let's go full screen. I got to see this. Man, this is crazy. She knew right away. What in the world? No, I could not live in a place like this. No way. No way. And what is this? It's like she was coming out of class. Just at universities. You got packs of dogs just wandering around. Did y'all hear that story surfaced about that lady who got her legs amputated? That was in, I think, Utah or Kansas. Let me find that story. Where this woman, she was attacked by pit bulls. Where is that story? What did I do with that story? Did I show it? Wait a minute. Here it is right here. Sorry about that. Here, let me switch screens. Should be able to see it. Yeah, you can see it. Now listen to this. This is the true nature of dogs. Not no goofy video with goofy music in the background or no mutt. They want you to look at that and start to fantasize and imagine that the thing is harmless. That's not reality. This is reality.
We have adult men that will not walk through our neighborhoods or up on that trail because of the dogs that are roaming free in this neighborhood.
First tonight, a Tulsa woman has a warning after her sister loses a leg in a dog attack. Thank you for joining us this Sunday night. I'm Chin Doan. News on 6's Caitlin Deggs is in the newsroom to explain what happened and what's next. Caitlin?
Chin, Tammy Copeland was attacked by two pit bulls near her house in West Tulsa almost 2 weeks ago. She has spent a week and a half in the ICU and had to have her right leg amputated because of her injuries. Her sister tells me they're hoping people will be more careful with their animals. Tammy was walking on a bike.
Be more careful with your animals. What is that supposed to mean? What does that mean? Keep them tied up? You shouldn't have anything that you need to keep tied up. And if it's not tied up, if it slip off, that means somebody get killed or mutilated. So you just shouldn't have it. Does that make sense? Don't that make more sense than anything else? You shouldn't be in possession of anything that you need to keep tied up so that it won't kill somebody. Boy, oh boy. Our laws is a mess. This is crazy.
They're hoping people will be more careful with their animals. Tammy was walking on a bike trail to this Dollar General almost 2 weeks ago when she was attacked from behind by two pit bulls. Her sister says her injuries were horrific.
I was walking up the bike path coming from the store, and my sister was covered in so much blood, I didn't even recognize that it was my sister.
Tammy has bite marks over her entire body and has had to get stitches in her arms and left leg. Because of the damage to Tammy's right leg, she made the decision to amputate it.
There was nothing left of her leg but one tendon, one artery, and one nerve. Everything else was gone. There was no saving it.
You see how horrific of an attack that was? That could have been done by dogs that were not bully breeds. It could have. Could have been a pack of labs or whatnot. But this was just two dogs. And generally, your injuries wouldn't be that bad if it were some other breed. You have a better chance of not suffering injuries like this, where they just bite off an entire limb. Those huskies can pull that off. A lot of those other big dogs can pull it off. But with pit bulls, it's far more likely you're going to need something amputated, or it'll just bite something off and you're missing chunks and you got holes in your body. The doctors have said that they had never seen the injuries like the kind inflicted by bully breeds until bully breeds came onto the scene. These injuries is breed specific, not exclusive. It's not exclusive. But this is a problem. Nobody should have to go through this. Especially not no child. You out of your mind? No dogs for nobody. No dogs for nobody. You just have to deal with it. You want a dog? Go to Dog Island. These people need their own island.
Her sister says it's become common for dogs to run loose in this neighborhood and hopes people will see what happened to Tammy and be more careful.
When I went up to the store 2 days ago, there was 3 pits running together, no owners, no leashes, nothing. Who owns these dogs? Why are they allowed to run free in this neighborhood? Because if they're hungry, they're going to do what these dogs did.
She says there's a long...
She said if they're hungry, dogs are always hungry. They can always eat. They're not so much always hungry, they can always eat. But they do feel hungry. They have so many parasites. Eats the food. But this is supposed to be man's best friend. This is supposed to be the best friend of children. This is supposed to be a family member. Something that's innocent. These people love... This woman sounds terrorized. She sounds like she's horrified. She's very terrified. You can tell she's been through something.
These dogs, why are they allowed to run free in this neighborhood? Because if they're hungry, they're going to do what these dogs...
And they don't have to be hungry. If they've eaten well, they're more likely to do this. They're going to have more energy. You know? If they're real hungry, they won't have the energy to attack. Yeah? They'll have to be very, very hungry. These things do this for sport. That's why they don't eat nothing. They probably, I don't know, maybe they did eat her. But I'm thinking they just bite your limbs off. I know they do consume people. And my goodness. Let's bring these into schools around the country and teach toddlers to rub on them. Convince the toddlers that these are like cartoon characters. That is how they project dogs to kids. Like real life cartoon characters. Really? These creatures that do all of this? Oh, match made in heaven. Pit bull dogs stoned and set on fire in Cape Town. So they stoned it as well. Man, oh man. Things are getting real over there in Africa and in the Middle East in general. The pit bull lovers, they're not going to like this. There's nothing they can do. There's too many people who agree that this should be done and that they should be banned. The Pit Bull Federation over there calling for more regulation. Oh, let's try more training. These people are not trying to hear that. They're grabbing rocks, lighter fluid, right? They're handling business. They're treating these things the same way they would a human being that tortured a child. And if dogs are so human-like, how can you object to that? Okay? Equal justice over there. Community, it says, took matters into their own hands and attacked the dogs. Stoning, stabbing, and hitting them with objects before burning them to death. Pit bulls in South Africa. This is not a positive time for them right now. It is tragic that a child was harmed, and in turn, the animals were brutally attacked. No dog should be roaming the streets. Responsible pet owners ensure their animals are kept within their properties. If your home is not adequately fenced, don't get a dog. No. You shouldn't have to have your home adequately fenced. And if it's not, or if the dog manipulates the fence, jumps over, crawls under it, that means somebody dies or gets mutilated. No, it's not all about a fence or the right training. It's about these brain dead mutants not being here at all, not being around, period. Period. People, humans, in our natural state, we despise dogs. That's why throughout history, we always wrote about them in a negative fashion, because there was nothing but negative to share about them. They don't do anything or anyone anything positive. All the benefits that people get is based on their own behavior. You can rub and kiss anything and it'll make you feel better. Stop playing dumb. Toddler mauled to death in another pit bull attack. This surfaced a few hours ago. Okay, so this happens often. Another torture. There you go. There you go, Rebecca Corey. This is what you fight to keep alive, right? You fight to maintain this. Don't you think that's kind of twisted? That's kind of twisted. It blows my mind how people can feel like they can brag about defending these soulless, cold-hearted killers. That takes a lot of arrogance to stick your chest out and brag about saving these things, keeping them alive and keeping them in society. That is mighty arrogance. That's highly disrespectful. The presence of pit bull advocates is disrespectful. We should demand a certain amount of sanity from our neighbors so that they don't endanger entire neighborhoods. People can't even walk. And this was, where was this? This was here in the U.S. where that lady got her limbs amputated. It happens often here. Kylie Waltman, quite a few cases. What's the problem? And then that same media outlet publishes this today as well. How to protect yourself from dogs. From dog bites. Dog bites, that's what they call them. Oh, it's just a bite. The tearing and ripping apart of flesh. They just refer to that as a bite. No, people are put through meat grinders. See, that's part of their scam. How they protect dogs. They try to minimize everything negative that the dog does. Now, what are they talking about? I haven't even read this yet. But they're referring to the ASPCA, so it's a flawed article. That's all we need to know. According to ASPCA, a well-socialized, well-trained pit bull is delightful, intelligent, and gentle. Shut up, man. All the pit bulls that attacked, they were delightful and everything else. Well socialized and everything else. Stop it. We have the reports, so stop it. Oh, dogs bite. They refer to dog bite. Okay. Has shed light on what to do to stay safe when you come across a dog. Do not pet a dog without first letting it see you, even when you know the dog. This is on dogsbite.org. Wait a minute. Oh no. Oh no, what is this? Okay. You know my advice. Just stay away from dogs, period. Don't pet them at all. With or without permission. Just stay away from them. Stay away from them. That's the best advice anybody can give you. Your life is on the line. You only get one life, one face, one everything. Stay away from them. You understand? It's not hard to understand that. These are killers. They kill on a consistent basis, on a daily basis. 14,000 dog bites a day in the United States alone. Over 2,000 people a day in the United States every day need emergency care treatment. You know how consistent that is? That's incredibly consistent. Some 5 million a year dog bites, 800,000 ER visits. That's industrial. They have made a business out of attacking us. Lord, and we make a business out of feeding them? Are we really that backwards? I don't want to accept that. I don't want to accept that we're that backwards. That is what motivates me. This surfaced a few hours ago as well. A woman's bulldog bit every delivery driver bringing food to the house. She seems happy about that, as you could have probably guessed. I've told people they want to see their dog pounce on you. I don't know why it pleases them. They get something out of that. Seeing their dog jump on you or even bite you. They're tickled. They will even laugh. Quite often, they'll laugh right there in front of you. This is insane. You know full well she planned it. You order food, put your dog away. The post office told them to lock the dog in the room. They know how to do that. Shouldn't have to tell them. They let the dog loose on purpose. Yeah, that's irrefutable. Man, oh man. So not only do we have these mutant, otherworldly mutant creatures on this planet, you got owners who get off on forcing them onto everybody. Man. You want to bring them into grocery stores, huh? Really? They're in hospitals now, libraries all across the country, schools. Unbelievable, man. I'd hate to have to. No, my child would not be going to no school like that. How to get your dog to stop barking. I don't even know why I saved this. Why do dogs bark? No, barking is a threat. It's their way of being threatening. That's what they do. A loud, obnoxious sound that's really unnecessary and serves no real purpose. It's really a strong expression of brain deadness. It's a strong expression of their brainlessness. There's nothing coordinated about it. It's very blunt. There's no structure. It's not like a lion roar. It's just dumb. The barking is dumb. It sounds very dumb. Demand for pit bulls increased since petition calling for them to be banned, say breeders. I believe this is a South African media outlet. So you can see the pit bull lobby has their people up at these media outlets writing these articles defending pit bulls over there in South Africa. Yeah, it's a South African publication. They got their minions up there as journalists putting this nonsense out. That might even be false. They put articles, information out here like this just to try to persuade the public. Oh, look, everybody else still loves them, so let's love them as well. It's basically what they're doing. Hey, it's okay to still love pit bulls. No, people are stoning them and setting them on fire. Whole communities are doing this. No, the community is on code over there. They're on code against these dogs. See, they don't like it. They hate that. They hate when people stand up for their young. They hate when humans stand up in defense of their young against dog attacks. How backwards is that? So at a time like now, that's when Yahoo decides to publish an article like this. Video of pit bull checking out hotel room after being adopted is so innocent. Innocent. See how obsessed they are with calling these things innocent when they're the only things that are actually guilty? They made an industry out of proving that they're guilty, not innocent, not harmless. You call something innocent, it has to be harmless. Nothing that's deadly can be innocent, especially if it was made like that. If it's naturally that way, dogs are wired to kill. No predator is innocent. What is that supposed to mean? You're only innocent when you're harmless. So this is offensive. Why is the disrespect so strong from these people? Is what I'm wondering. This is strong disrespect. Yahoo makes this article. Wow. Okay. They're trying hard. At a time like now, they hear about what's going on over there in South Africa, Gazabad. They hear about these stories. And that's why they make these articles. These goofy nutter articles. Responsible pit bull owners do their homework. Stop. Look at this. Pit bulls. You either love them or you just do not know them. See, why is the arrogance so strong? Why is the disrespect so strong? Here's another example. You either love them or you just don't know them. Well, some people's child have been killed by one of them. You telling those people that they just don't know pit bulls? See what I'm saying? Some people have been permanently disfigured by pit bulls. Telling them, oh, you just don't know pit bulls? That's just unnecessarily disrespectful. Look at this. Much negativity has been raised in the media over the last couple of weeks with regard to pit bulls. And I'm guessing most of it by people who have never owned a pit bull or even touched or spent time with one. This is another recent article surfaced today. I'm showing you all the things going on around the world involving pit bulls. And I'm showing you how the nutters are reacting, responding to it with immense arrogance and disrespect. Now, when you look up the writer of this article, she says a lot about herself. Let me show you. And you have to keep in mind, these are the types of people who are writing articles. That's the crazy part. So this is the writer of that article. Like I said, they look for these types of people to write articles. Wow. You got to take a breath and soak that in. That's the writer of that article. So, like I've been saying, this is a sick child sacrificial cult that has been built into a culture. This dog, it's a culture. It's like a ritual. Most definitely. And it requires bloodshed. For dogs to exist in our country the way that they do, it requires bloodshed. The crazy mutilations that we research. I am saying that it's unnecessary and that dogs should be gotten rid of so that we can get rid of all of those victims, as well as get rid of all the diseases and infections that come from these vile sewage rats, bottom feeders, eaters and consumers of the filthiest filth. And that's not an exaggeration. That's not an exaggeration. Scary stuff. Scary stuff, man. So why are my fellow humans setting dogs on fire all across the world? I'm worried about you. These other people, they're not concerned about what you're going through. I want to know what you're going through, exactly what you went through. How did that dog drive you to do something like that? There may be a silent epidemic that's driving people crazy. Most definitely, I believe dogs have a negative impact on our sanity in general, in so many ways. Health, our sanity, relationships. Crazy, wacky world, man. What a matrix. Shout out to everybody who was able to join me for this live stream. And I hope to see you all on the next as we continue with this crusade.